Alrighty. Idea of being able to put a user, let's just say a user gets pulled over by a police officer, a lightweight way, and the user, a seamless opportunity to be able to exchange information to make sure that all the information is accurate and up to date and verified to the police officer very seamlessly so that there doesn't have to be much interaction for the safety of both the police officer and the citizen. I'm basically trying to do a proof of concept for I'm trying to do a visual proof of concept for the flow where a user or a driver is basically uploading their mobile driver's license from their Apple Wallet, their insurance cards, registration. That app basically captures that information, stores that information. You can also get like real time updates. So if your registration is expiring soon, you'll get like a notification and then you can get like some instruction or something to your local DMV. Typically, what I do when I have a concept is I'll start building out the actual concept as like a web application. I use what I build in the web application as a means to navigate the flow, make sure things make sense as I'm navigating. Then I'll basically reiterate it and actually make that visual. Claude just dropped Claude Design. I am trying this out for the first time. I think it'll be really cool. So, first thing, this is powered by Opus 4.7, which is their latest model that just dropped this week. It is in research preview right now, so you have to be on a Pro Max team or an enterprise plan in order to play around with it. The whole idea is instead of opening up Figma and staring at a blank artboard, you just describe what you want. So Claude builds a first version and then you refine through conversation. You can use inline comments, direct edits, and this is kind of crazy because you can also do like custom sliders that Claude generates for you on the fly. So, anything from like tweaking spacing, colors, the layout, yeah, you could basically do. The thing that immediately caught my eye, they called it your brand built in during the onboarding process. Claude reads your code base and your design files and it builds your team's design system automatically. So your colors, your typography, your components, every project after that just uses them. So for BlueMeta, that's like pretty big. We don't have a in-house designer. Being able to have a designer create the like officially create like our design components and be able to reuse that, I think is going to basically like be really helpful. I've got this BlueMeta brand system. I've got a whole aesthetic that I've been building out like different products with, and being able to point that to Claude and have every mock-up moving forward come out with that branding, I think is going to be like amazing. And it would normally take a designer like weeks to do. Now I kind of get that out of the box, which is really nice. Another feature is like import options. So you can also import from anywhere. So start from a prompt like I'm doing in our demo. You could upload a document, so whether that be a PowerPoint presentation or a doc, you can literally point it at your code base. They have a web capture tool that lets you grab the elements directly from any website. So if I wanted this prototype to feel like the real like DMV flow, I could web capture the DMV site and pull elements straight into it. And then another feature that I think is really cool and I like really care about is like, do you remember how like I was saying typically I'll build the concept as a web app first just to like navigate the flow and make sure it makes sense and then reiterate over the visual. So Claude Design does a handoff to Claude Code. So when the design is done, after I go through and approve and make my edits, it'll package everything up into a bundle. You pass it into Claude Code with a single instruction and it builds the thing. So instead of me doing the ugly, rough web app phase, then redesigning, then rebuilding, it's just design the real thing in Claude Design, hand it off, and then you're done. Right. Well, unfortunately, I just watched back the first recording, and when I made the video full screen, it actually didn't capture the demo. So just gonna re-record that and kind of walk through BlueMeta Wallet, the concept, and what Claude Design was basically able to help me prototype. So built an interactive prototype, as you can see, this is kind of like the opening page. We do have like the ability to like log in with like Face ID. I specifically instructed the model to basically include that. A thumbprint for Android is going to be like what I'm thinking as well. And then for both, we basically have like, what's it called? PIN number as like the backup. Here, we're going to just like start with the demo credential. I am actually just gonna leave the Alex Rivera as the demo for the just for a quick overview, and then yeah, we literally get to just like walk through. So users are able to upload, take a photo for their profile. There should probably be like in your actual mobile driver's license, you have your state issued driver's license photo, so that should be able to be ported over as well. You're going to get those credentials signed for the BlueMeta wallet that you created. This basically has all of that information like ported over. You'll be able to continue with the wallet. So now we have the actual kind of just like overall flow. So here you have your actual mobile driver's license, and you need to actually be able to share them with a third party. Let's just say Drizly, that demo specifically is for validating that I'm over 21 to be able to purchase a cocktail, purchase a beer. So Drizly is requesting, here's the reason he's requesting it. And again, this is basically like a bouncer at, the digital equivalent of a bouncer. Drizly, I actually believe, is a alcohol ordering service, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, you basically are going to be able to get that delivered. You share it over these credentials. You have your age, or not your date of birth, but like the fact that you're over 21. So users don't actually need to know, in a lot of contexts, like your personal information. So they don't need to know your address and your exact date of birth. If you're, I don't know, going to a bar, realistically what they need to do is have your photo ID and your name and your date of birth to like validate that you're over the age of 21. Here, because we're dealing with a digital wallet that's certified from the state or from your state DMV, you basically only need to be able to pass this check or pass this data over. I'm over 21 or under 21. Drizly receives that. They know by the time they receive it that it's been verified, so they don't need any additional personal information from you. So the whole concept of this is based around user privacy. So you're going to go ahead and be able to share that with Drizly. You're going to authenticate. Once you authenticate, Drizly has all the information that they need at that point in time in order to continue with your alcohol delivery. Hopefully you got something nice. And like I said, this is just an overall like prototype. I'm going to kind of go through. It's not perfect, but for a first go round of this, it would have literally taken me like hours to like build this. This was basically done in 15 minutes. So yeah, Anthropic is that like you guys are like killing this thing. Like, yeah, this thing is amazing. Yeah, all of these things should basically be fixed. I can prompt and make adjustments, but just wanted to just like highlight what was created here. I'm able to toggle on and off like what information I'm able to share, and the card details, what's important, right? If I never want a vendor to have my like actual driver's license number, right, I can toggle this off. And then yeah, this tab we've already seen, the incoming request, and then the sharing success we've seen as well. So this is basically just the flow for the wallet itself. You do see on the credential screen there being like other cards within BlueMeta Wallet. So this basically is where like I'd like to hold like insurance cards and car registrations, right? So then at the time when, let's just say, a user gets pulled over or a user needs to verify information with the authorities, yeah, you can literally just hit this present credentials button, send over what, or have the police officer, they have their own experience that'll get created where they're requesting the information that they need for that particular stop. And of course there'll be rules and regulations around that. That would be like things to like partner up with like our local government, state government, in order to be able to design that experience to make sure that it's safe for everyone, its privacy is respected, and we can basically like reduce like any the hope for this product isn't just to use like cool technology. It's like to be able to like reduce conflict between like citizens and like local authorities. And this is like, I think is like a good way of basically being able to get law enforcement information that they need in order to do their jobs, that they can, and they can do this at a distance, right, at a tap. Users at, don't shouldn't even have to like, or you don't have to go digging through your car, you don't have to go digging through your glove compartment, check your pockets and grab your wallet. You don't have to do any of that. You're literally just able to have the officer request the information that's needed. You're basically able to go through the flow, share that information. Yeah, and then from there, everybody can just like carry on. This is a super cool prototype. Super happy that they dropped, like Anthropic dropped this today. I'm like definitely like fanboying. I feel like this, like the amount of time that it saved me in putting this up. I literally was planning on like working on this over the weekend so that I can like share details like with my team like early next week. The fact that I was able to do this in 15 minutes, I mean, it took me longer to demo it than it did to actually build it. So yeah, I just wanted to say, if you have any questions or like any features specifically that you'd like to see me kind of like test out, yeah, feel free to drop a comment or hit me up on social media platforms, currently on Instagram and on X, as well as LinkedIn. But yeah, happy to connect, and yeah, happy building.